pressure rises in the combination boiler. So you put your boiler on and you set it at 1.2, and about an hour or so later, whenever it's really heated up, you notice it's gone to 1.5 or around that sort of area. Now this is quite normal. Okay, that is absolutely nothing to worry about. That is the normal operating way that a boiler works, because the heat has to expand, the water expands and builds the pressure up a little bit. So that is quite normal. But what about when it seems to be keeping on going, getting higher and higher? Well, there's a different thing. So if you're getting that problem, we have to start looking somewhere else. Okay, first place I like to look is at this is a filling loop for a combination boiler, quite usually found underneath as the pipes are going into the boiler. Okay, now you may have topped the boiler up at some time and turned these valves. They're just little half turn things, they can stick. Oh, you can hear how squeaky that is. Horrible. I don't like them, but there we are, we've got to have them. Now there are two, so invariably you turn one on, okay, and then nothing happens until you start to turn the other one, and that fills it up. Now what a lot of people do is just turn the one off and forget that they turned the other one off as well. So what happens is this one may just be letting by a little bit, so it's gradually looking a tiny bit of pressure get into the boiler very slowly, and gradually the pressure is rising. So quite often, sometimes the answer is just to make sure the other one is off as well. Now if they're both off, you stand a really good chance that you're probably okay with the filling loop. I can't say 100%, mind you, you could always change the filling loop if you wanted to, or best bet of all, try to make sure the filling loop is not getting by at all. Quite simple, just disconnect it, take that end off, pull it out, and you'll see if it's letting by. There's no way any water then is going to get back into the boiler and start raising the pressure. So it's quite simple. If you're not sure whatsoever, disconnect one side. They're meant to be disconnected anyway. These caps here are meant to go on these valves as cap offs like that, you see. So they've got little rubber washers in there to cap it off, so that if it did leak at all, it would be capped off. So that's the idea. So safe and sorry, take them off, cap them off, and you know it can't be the filling loop. So let's move on to what next. The gauge itself. This is the pressure gauge of a combi boiler, and I have known these stick. Okay, and you think you've got the right pressure and it's not working at all, it's jammed, and you may in actual fact be working on well over pressure because you keep thinking it looks a bit low. I think I'll put a bit more in and a bit more. In actual fact, you're putting more and more in, and this gauge isn't reading properly. The other one that can cause problems for you is the heat exchanger inside your boiler being sludged up, and obviously that is going to cause a sort of severe blockage around the boiler and build the pressure up as well. So that is another main one. If you're worried about that one, you can always get a flush done on your heating system and see if that cures it for you. The expansion vessel, if they get damaged at all, broken, they can send the pressure really high and then obviously lower it back down when it goes off, but it can cause this effect if there is a problem with the expansion vessel there. So of course that would also go for high pressure hot water systems as well that use an expansion vessel. That would also be the same effect, so another one to look out for. Now going back to filling loops before we finish, I'd just like to show you the filling loop that I now have on my Bosch boiler, which is not a year old yet. It's completed. It's the most horrible thing I've ever come across. It's just horrendous, and when you turn it, water pours out of the bottom of it. You have to have a bowl underneath to collect the water, and I don't like it at all because this is a system that is plastic and horrible. I just don't like it, and I'll show you what it is on the newer Bosch boilers. So here we go, take a look at this. This then is the filling loop on my new combi boiler, the Bosch one, and it uses a key that goes up inside this here, and this valve has to be turned on. This is lowered down, and then it allows the water into the filling loop, which goes through this T-bar and into the return pipe. Okay, now when you do it, you have to have a bowl under here because water pours out of here no matter what. Now this is the key that is supposed to stop it from pouring out, but when you put that up there and push it in and turn it, I can tell you it really does leak out of there. I'm not too happy about those at all, but I guess that's the way things move on, isn't it? So if you've got a Bosch, a newer Bosch, you'll have this type of filling loop here as shown, and good luck. There you go, then a few things to have a look at if your boiler pressure just keeps on rising. Now don't worry too much if it does keep rising. There is a pressure relief valve that will blow it around about 3 bar, and it will send any expanded water outside to protect the boiler. So if you see water running outside of a pipe that drops from the boiler, you'll know that your PRV has blown and you're definitely getting way too much pressure in your boiler. I will show you the pipe. So on mine it's this one here, comes down the wall behind those pots and pans, gets down here and then goes out the wall there. And oh yes, it's a lovely day out here today in Devon. Yeah, I think the summer's over. Yeah, anyway, that pipe I'm talking about, let's see if we can see it here. I think it comes out under there. Yep, just behind the back of this basket down there. I'm not getting out too far. It's raining cats and dogs today. Look at that. Okay, that's it then. I'll catch you next time for the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.